thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, we heard a lot of noise. I'm like, oh no, they said there was going to be a kid in here. Yeah. And we were like right there.
Every time I'm asked to address such a distinguished audience as I have this afternoon, I'm reminded of the time I was coming out of the Capitol building in Springfield, and a group of very attractive young ladies walked up to me. They said, "Mr. Lincoln, you are without a doubt the ugliest men we've ever seen in our entire lives." I thought about it for a moment. I said, "Well, perhaps you're right about that, but I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about it." To which they in unison replied, "Well, you know, you could do us the courtesy of staying indoors." But I'd like to speak to you this afternoon a little bit about railroads, strangely enough. Hearing about the success that railroads had brought about the development on the east captured the attention of us people out here in Illinois. And we begin to see railroads as the answer to the transportation system that we needed in this new state. As early as 1832, I began to advocate, along with others, the movement of railroads in the settled portions of our state. In 1835, the first charter for a railroad was granted in Illinois by the General Assembly. While serving in my first term in the General Assembly in 1834, I wrote a letter which appeared in the Springfield Sangamo Journal, which pretty well stated my vision of a railroad that ran all the way from Alton to Springfield. However, I'm afraid the vision was a little bit greater than the resources that were available at the time. Many, including the state of Illinois, tried desperately to find the fundings to build the A&S line, and through many turbulent years and constant hurdles, we decided to be determined to see that railroad become a reality. And finally, in 1848, the funds to incorporate and build the railroad were finally available. Articles in newspapers and first-hand reports of those returning from business trips made it very clear that there was a very dynamic place called Chicago and how well it was becoming one of the new central points in the state. Early in 1849, discussions began to connect Alton to Chicago and began to take place with those interested Chicagoans. A year later, the goal was reached to actually go to Chicago. 18 years after my initial vision, on September the 9th, 1852, the first train for Alton approached Springfield, Illinois, to the accompaniment of cannon fire and very cheerful and excited citizens. A bill was passed that then would extend the A&S line from Blooming to Chicago, which included a connection to Joliet. The name of the train or the line was then changed to the Chicago, Mississippi line, or better known as the C&M. On July the 31st, 1854, the first train destined all the way to Chicago departed Walton's Depot, and of course included stops in exchange of engines and food for the passengers, and water and wood for the engines, and all the way to Joliet. There, a cheering welcome committee met the train to the accompaniment again with ceremonial cannon fire. In the early evening hours, the train arrived at Rock Island Chicago Depot. Now, at first, freight trains didn't actually run to Chicago. They were turned off at Joliet and were transferred to Chicago up the Iron Canal. On February the 15th, 1855, a charter in the name of the Joliet and Chicago line, or the J&C, was issued, authorizing the organization at the Chicago and Mississippi Depot in Joliet. Having seen what the railroads were doing for other towns, Joliet enlisted the help of the then mayor, Joliet Matson, of local routes to bring the railroad through Lockport. Matson knew quite well that the J&C's only hope was to serve as an extension of the Chicago, Alton, and St. Louis line if they were to ever reach Chicago. In June of 1857, a contract was awarded to construct the first section of rail from Joliet to Lockport, which was then completed in October of that year. 7 more miles of track were then brought from Chicago with the train tracks to Lamont, a place which originally was called Athens for some reason, because I think they thought it looked like the old Athens of Greece. The place actually consisted of about 3 houses, a few stores, and strangely enough, a few taverns. The place actually owed its existence to the excellent seams of limestone which had been found there during the canal construction. Now, there were actually 3 quarries already operating before the railroad lines actually reached the place. Lamont limestone, as it's called, when it's exposed to air, turns a very attractive pale yellow, or as some people call it, buff color, and became a very popular building material, used in very numerous buildings around here, many of which still stand in Illinois and other states, including the state prison, of course the railroad station here in Lamont, and the Lockport Depot. And ahead from Lamont lay the very forested Des Plaines River Valley, Bridgeport, and Chicago. Work on the remaining segment of the Chicago was completed in March of 1858. Within weeks of the JNC's opening, transfer of the freight at Joliet to the canal boats ended, and very soon there was a roundhouse built in Chicago, and engines could be repaired there. Of course, as you're well aware, in February of 1861, I bid farewell to Springfield in the state of Illinois. I began my journey to Washington City into the executive mansion. And of course, that's a story for another day.
Thank you, Mr. President. Anybody who was on the train has seen that very long tanker train that's going to come through here in about 2 minutes, so I'm going to hold for a second. Over that. Can you hear me, Sherry? I'm loud enough, aren't I? I thought so. Just a little bit more history here I want to go through because it is an amazing story. On May 2nd, 1865, a 9-car train carrying the body of then President Lincoln left Chicago for its final resting place in Springfield. For 13 days, the President's funeral train slowly traveled through 180 cities and towns, stopping at state capitals and major cities. Thousands of crowds lined the route and met the train along its path. Even in the dark nights in Bridgeport, a bonfire was lit to help those gathering to view the train. Crowds stood Summit, Willow Springs, and Lamont. At Lockport, a massive bonfire was burning, and I still think it's burning today, right here? It's still burning today. And people with torches, we know that's definitely Lockport, people with torches, lined the tracks and slowly watched as President Lincoln passed by. In 1871, the CNA loses the Chicago Fire, loses its office in the Dearborn and Spring Station, and Van Buren, Congress, and 113 boxcars and flat cars. The new Union Station opened in 1881. In 1898, there was a takeover of the CNA for $38 million. In 1898, it was taken over for almost $39 million, controlled in the Chicago Alton Railroad. In 1931, the Baltimore and Ohio took control of the Chicago Alton and operated as the Alton Railroad. In 1947, when the Gulf Mobile Ohio assumed ownership, it included the acquisition of 2 remaining lease lines, which is then the Joliet-Chicago line. 44 years later, in 1972, Illinois Central absorbed and formed the Illinois Central Gulf Line. In 1989, the line was sold to Canadian National, so Metra's rights and agreements to operate the train as a Canadian National. At the time, Mayor Rick Wozneski spearheaded an effort to bring additional train service to communities along the Heritage Corridor and urged people to inform Metra of the need for additional service. In April of 1999, Metra added a 3rd daily round-trip train to the line 18 years ago. So we stand today on March 14, 2016 to celebrate a truly significant milestone in the Heritage Corridor line. As we mentioned downtown, for those of you who were not down there, Congressman Lipinski has been the spearhead and the man that's in charge when it comes to transportation. This could not be possible today if it was not for the effort of Congressman Lipinski. Congressman Lipinski works for people. He doesn't work for this side and that side. Congressman Lipinski has been the best person ever to be our congressman in the village of Lamont. And I want to thank you for all of that. Today I'm hoping is just the beginning of what should be a lot more trains, I'm hoping in the very near future, for this line. It was amazing how many people on the line this morning were excited about coming out on the 245 and what it means to Lamont and people up and down the line. We're very excited that we're hoping that all the paperwork can be into IDOT by April so that the Romeoville station will be on the September bid letting for IDOT. Mayor Noak is working feverishly along with IDOT to make this happen. I'm standing here as far as being a representative of the Heritage Corridor line and the Heritage Corridor Commission. It represents Mayor Noak, Mayor Straight, Mayor Novacek from Willow Springs. Steve Jones was representing Joliet. He's the assistant village administrator there. This truly is what it's all about. Showing that the need is there. The line has increased 45% just in the last 5 years. So I know that with continued pressure and continued efforts beyond myself, the rest of the mayors, and Congressman Lipinski, I think those efforts will come to fruition. What's even nice, what's even better than that, is having Larry Walsh, Will County Executive down in Joliet, is a huge advocate for this line and is a huge advocate for Lamont. So I want to thank Executive Walsh for coming out.
Thank you. I want to say it's a great day to see this come about. I've always represented the Summit and Willow Springs stop since I was first elected to Congress back in 2004. For the redistricting, I picked up Lamont, Lockport, which have stations, and Romeoville, which will soon have a station. So it's been great to work with all the mayors, with Executive Walsh, especially with Mayor Reed, who took it upon himself to get onto the board of Metra and make this a real priority. So we want to thank you for the work that you have done on this, stayed on top of this day in and day out to bring this day to fruition. Now, I want to say this is not the end. This is the first addition to this line. I've heard from so many people about the need, and I understand the need, the demand along this line, and it's only going to grow as the economy picks up, more housing is being built. The demand's only going to grow, and it could mean so much for all towns along the line, especially Vermont. So I'm going to keep working to get more trains on here. It's not easy to do. You see, the line is shared, owned by CN. I wasn't surprised. I don't know if it's a coincidence that the same car train went by after the Metra train did. Maybe to show us something. But I'm hopeful that we'll be able to work things out. I want to thank Metra so much for putting in the work. I want to thank CN for allowing this train, Amtrak for allowing this train. But this is not the end. We're going to keep fighting for more because that's what everyone deserves. I want to thank everyone who was part of getting this done. So it's a good day. Hopefully, I encourage everybody you know who might possibly want to use the train to use it, to get on this train. Make sure everyone knows about it. And that's something we're all going to have to work on to make sure people know about it so that they use it, show that the demand is there, and it'll help us as we move forward. So thanks for being out here today.
Sorry, man.
Mayor Stray from Lockport would like to say something on his cell phone.
Yes, on my cell phone. I just want to be very quick about this because I personally, as the mayor of Lockport, had very little to do with any of this. This is really the hard work of Larry Walsh, Congressman Lipinski, and I really want to give a call out to Mayor Reeves and his wife Sherry. I mean, for Mayor Reeves to volunteer himself to be on the Metra board, it takes a tremendous amount of time, and for him to be your mayor and to do those extra hours, and for Sherry to put up with it, it really means a lot to the community that he serves. And I just want to make sure that we give him a round of applause.
Mayor Noak, I thought it'd been fun to be able to shoot Mayor Noak out of the cannon, but I thought maybe that'd be bad.
We're like brothers. My colleague from Lockport's a little modest. It really is a great team effort. This group has been beaten on and off for months, not years now. And we have some great leaders in the group. And Mayor Reeves and his role in Metra, we wouldn't be where we are without him. And I just can't say enough of him. He is like a brother to me and a great close personal friend. And that working relationship is fantastic. As with the working relationship with everyone here. And we couldn't see anything in transportation if it wasn't for the partnership we have with Congressman Lipinski. Whether it's trains, airports, roads, you name it, this is the Congressman for transportation, and our economies are based on transportation. And so we're so lucky to have him representing us in Congress. Now, I look forward to, as it was mentioned, inviting you all to come out this fall for a groundbreaking for a new station, because with more trains comes the need for more stations, more parking. So we're going to help you out with that, and with the help of all of them, we're going to have a groundbreaking hopefully later this fall, and we'll invite you all out to Romeoville to be a part of that, because that station really is going to be a station not only for our community, but for Southern Lamont. It'll be faster for people in some parts of Lamont or Lockport. It really will be a station for the whole region, and that's what the goal of the project of Romeoville is to be another station to make this line even better as we continue to get more service. So we invite you all to come out, and I want to thank everybody here and all of you for being a part of this. Thanks.
It really wouldn't be something if we didn't have Executive Walsh serving as the number one.
Thank you, Brian, and all the mayors. It's great to be here, a historic day, as we continue the march on trying to get better transportation for all our residents in Will County and southwestern Cook. I have to applaud Mayor Reeves. He's one of our board members on the Metra board, and the Metra board and Don Orsino have done a tremendous job in understanding the needs of what our constituents want. So anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important things you see here today with the leadership of Congressman Lipinski in Washington, D.C., that the working together is how we get these things done. And as Mayor Noak has said, that when it comes to transportation for our area, there's one and one only individual that we talk to first, and that's Congressman Lipinski. Whether, like Mayor Noak say, trains, planes, automobiles, trucks, whatever it may be, the need to build roads, his office has been second to none in helping us out. So I applaud all the work that everybody has done, and we look to the future. But let's hope that it doesn't take another 18 years to find another capability of having another train go through here. We need to show the people in power, Brian, you'll see firsthand that we need more trains to take care of what the potential is going to be in this area in the near future. Best of luck to everybody.
Yeah, Larry's in power. I mean, he's in Congress. We're showing him. Today couldn't be possible without all the efforts of Linda Molitor. She put all this together. I want to please give Linda Molitor a big round of applause.
And the Historical Society, we would have never had any connection with the cannon or Ed Lincoln had it not been for these wonderful ladies.
Excellent job, Historical Society. Great job. With that, like the Congressman said, ride the train, tell people about the train, and that's how we're going to get more and more of them out here. I'll do everything I can to make sure there's more of them, but it's word of mouth and saying we've got a great system out here. With that, retired Mayor Kwasniewski is going to buy drinks at Del Sosimo, so let's go. Thank you, everybody.